I'm Thomas Wright, and this is my wife Beth. I work on staff here as the church as the music director for the first service, and I also help oversee some of our outreach programs. Beth is a chemist at Lilly.
And we've been working with exchange students for about 10 years. We've had 17 or 18, I've lost count, from many diverse backgrounds.
Hey guys, I'm Trevor Lassiter. I've been involved with CCG for almost my entire life. I go to Greenwood High School and I'm involved heavily in all the sports there, including football, track, and wrestling. And on my spare time, I go over to the Gathering Place and do some kickboxing with John Tribby.
I'm Kyle Stricker, and this is my wife Heather. We are members of CCG for about 2 years now. I work at downtown in the hospitals there. I'm a resident for anesthesia, and Heather works here at the church as the programming and communications director. We are expecting our first baby in November.
So through our exchange students and multiple sons that we've had, it has not always been the easiest thing in life to choose to love them. They have sometimes tested that, and we had no influence over their upbringing. So it has not always been easy, but it has always been the best possible choice.
For those of you who don't know, football in high school is pretty much the center of your life. There's no missing workouts, and if you do miss workouts, they're always on you, always saying, where were you, why'd you miss? And it's just a really tough sport to do things with and to go places with your family. And I just felt God really compelling me to go to Camp Friendship this year, and I spent 2 weeks of my summer there, and I don't regret anything.
We had the opportunity to go to Camp Friendship. Heather had the opportunity to go twice, and I had the opportunity to go this past time in July. This past time in July was special because we decided to use our last week of vacation rather than going on quote-unquote a baby moon to somewhere warm and sunny and sandy.
It was warm and sunny.
It was warm and sunny, yes it was. But with people serving us drinks and lounging around in beach chairs, we went to Camp Friendship.
We served drinks.
Before I came to work here at CCG, I was a missionary with OMS International, and I specialized in youth ministry and English education for teenagers in other countries. And I would often travel to these other countries and be picked up at the airport, and I would stay with a family, a national family in that country. And they would just take me into their home, and they would just love me, and they would sort of treat me like family. During this time, I really began to reflect on what Paul wrote in Galatians chapter 4, where he talks about that we're all adopted into his family like sons. And as we continued our work with international students, we would take them into our home, and we would make the choice to treat them as if they were our son, and not just as a guest in our home or a renter or something like that, because we wanted to try to live out God's love for them, because God adopts us as sons, and we wanted to adopt them as our sons and try to model that love that God has for us.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was super tough going against the grain, especially with my senior year of football and senior year of sports being at my last year. But I really felt God pushing me to go and to do these things, because He's been telling me lately that the only thing that's going to matter are the relationships that I'm making with my friends and the people I'm going to bring to heaven with me. And through high school sports, you really don't get that opportunity unless you're really, really pushing it. And God's just been showing me that high school sports aren't as important to my life as the relationships and the friends that I'm going to make.
I was able to go to camp the first week in June, and I loved it, and I had a great time, and I wanted to go again. A lot of people had expressed physical concern, just that I would be 6 months at that point, the heat, etc. And so for me to say I really wanted to go, but I had to wait on some certain signs or just open doors of obedience, and that was hard. I like to control things and make them go the way I want them to go. When they announced they needed a doctor or a nurse, Kyle said, well, could they use a doctor? So
Going through residency for 6 months straight, really exhausted, to be honest. And my vacation week was actually scheduled for the week after Camp Friendship, and so it took a lot of praying and consulting, and we really felt that the Spirit was leading me and us to do this. And so we just decided, hey, we need to do this out of obedience to the Spirit.